Once upon a time, an individual sought guidance from Gautam Buddha to navigate through the challenges of managing their emotions. Struggling with anger and frustration, they hoped to find a better way to handle their emotional responses. In response, Buddha warmly welcomed them and suggested, "Let me share a story with you." In the narrative, there was a prosperous king who decided to visit a neighboring kingdom known for its wise ruler. Upon arrival, the visiting king was honored with a grand feast. During the feast, an unexpected guest, a fly, landed in the king's soup. Disgusted, he called for a replacement, expressing his annoyance. The wise king of the neighboring kingdom intervened, advising, "Your Majesty, please don't be angered by a small fly. It doesn't matter." Unconvinced, the visiting king insisted, "I cannot tolerate such things. Even a small fly can ruin my mood." The wise king responded with a smile, "Your Majesty, let me offer you some advice. It's not the fly that ruins your mood, but your reaction to it. You possess the power to control your emotions. Don't let them dictate your responses." The king recognized the wisdom in these insights and returned to his kingdom. From that point forward, he embraced the practice of refraining from immediate reactions to situations that once triggered his emotions. This newfound approach allowed him to keep his composure in challenging moments, leading to more thoughtful decision-making. The lesson of not reacting holds significance for all of us. Frequently, we impulsively respond to situations, risking negative outcomes. Reacting with anger and frustration can harm our relationships and impede our ability to make rational decisions. It's crucial, however, to note that refraining from immediate reactions doesn't imply suppressing emotions. Emotions are a natural aspect of our humanity, deserving acknowledgement. Rather than hastily reacting, taking the time to understand and respond thoughtfully is key. In a different part of the world lived a young man named Michael. Known for his emotional nature, he often responded impulsively to upsetting situations, expressing anger and hurtful words that led to conflicts and strained relationships. One day, Michael made a conscious decision to manage his emotions more effectively. Realizing that his impulsive reactions were doing more harm than good, he sought change. Michael embarked on a journey of mindfulness and meditation, enhancing his awareness of thoughts and emotions. Additionally, he embraced the practice of not reacting. When faced with situations that would typically trigger his emotions, Michael developed a routine. He would step back, take a few deep breaths, and calmly assess the circumstances before responding thoughtfully. Initially challenging, this approach helped him refrain from impulsive reactions. Despite initial difficulties, Michael noticed a positive shift. Controlling his emotions became more manageable with continued practice. Notably, his relationships with others improved significantly. No longer engaging in arguments that hurt people's feelings, Michael adopted a calm and considerate communication style. This transformation contributed to the building of stronger and healthier relationships. One day, a friend approached Michael seeking advice during a challenging period. The friend was visibly upset, grappling with difficult emotions. Michael, in response, attentively listened to the problems and offered words of comfort and support. Expressing gratitude, the friend remarked, "You always know just what to say. You never get angry or upset." Michael responded with a smile, explaining, "It's not that I never feel angry or upset. I've learned to control my emotions and not let them dictate my actions. This powerful skill has enhanced my relationships and overall well-being." Impressed, Michael's friend inquired about the journey to emotional control. Michael openly shared his experience, emphasizing the role of mindfulness and the practice of not reacting. Encouraging his friend to try these techniques, Michael's friend expressed gratitude for the valuable advice. Over time, Michael earned a reputation for his composed and considerate demeanor. Successfully navigating challenging situations, he became admired for his strength and resilience. Consistent mindfulness and the art of not reacting brought Michael a profound sense of inner peace and happiness. The lesson of not reacting serves as a valuable takeaway for everyone. While it requires practice and patience, the rewards are significant. By mastering emotional control, individuals can enhance relationships, make informed decisions, and lead more fulfilling lives. The lesson from the stories of the King and Michael emphasizes our ability to control emotions. While we may not have control over external events, we can determine how we respond to them. By embracing mindfulness and the practice of not reacting impulsively, we can develop the power to manage our emotions and engage in more considerate responses. This valuable tool has the potential to enhance our relationships, well-being, and overall quality of life. Let's invest time in practicing and honing this skill, allowing it to positively transform our lives. Anger persists as long as resentment lingers in the mind. Yet, anger fades when thoughts of resentment are forgotten. Suppressing rising anger is akin to a skilled charioteer holding back a charging chariot. Real strength lies in controlling oneself, not others. Clinging to anger is like ingesting poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The significance of self-conquest is underscored. One who conquers themselves surpasses the feats of those conquering vast armies on the battlefield. Rather than being led by impulsive reactions, it is more impactful to be guided by purposeful actions. True peace originates from within. There's no need to seek it externally. In moments of disagreement, succumbing to anger indicates a departure from the pursuit of truth to a focus on personal desires. The mind shapes our reality. Our thoughts mold our identity. Punishment for anger doesn't come from external sources, but stems from within. The source of suffering is attachment. Fostering happiness involves practicing compassion for others and ourselves. The liberation of letting go brings about true freedom and happiness. Clinging to emotions such as anger, anxiety, or possessions impedes our freedom. A single word that brings peace holds more value than a multitude of empty expressions. Our essence is shaped by our thoughts and beliefs. Choosing to respond, not react, is a key principle. Responding with reason rather than succumbing to emotional impulses holds significance. Ultimately, only three aspects define our existence: the depth of our love, the gentleness of our life, and our graceful ability to release things not meant for us. Understanding the interconnectedness of life means seeing oneself in all beings and recognizing all beings within oneself. Approaching everything with an unbiased perspective fosters a sense of unity. Sharing happiness with others only enhances its abundance. It never diminishes. Our thoughts play a pivotal role in shaping who we are. We become what we consistently think. Avoid dwelling on the past or overly focusing on the future. Channel your thoughts to the present moment. Some truths cannot remain concealed for long, much like the sun, the moon, and, most importantly, the truth itself. True happiness emerges when we release our attachments to things and people. The mind holds immense power. What we choose to think ultimately shapes our reality. It's not an external adversary, but our own mind that may lead us astray. Taking an idea from mere conception to active implementation holds greater significance than letting it exist solely as a concept. Passion can ignite like no other flame. Hatred can be as destructive as a shark. Folly can ensnare, and greed can rush like a torrent. Our thoughts mold our existence. What we continually think becomes our reality. Through our thoughts, we contribute to shaping the world. If aspiring to soar, one must shed the burdens weighing them down. To enact change globally, initiate it within yourself first. True happiness is not a pre-existing state, but evolves from your own intentional actions. The challenge lies in the assumption that you have an abundance of time. The mind can be likened to water. In turmoil, clarity is elusive, but in serenity, everything becomes transparent. The spoken words, akin to a sharp knife, have the power to harm without physical injury. Avoid dwelling on the past or overly focusing on the future. Channel your thoughts to the present moment. Some truths cannot remain concealed for long, much like the sun, the moon, and most importantly, the truth itself. True happiness emerges when we release our attachments to things and people. The mind holds immense power. What we choose to think ultimately shapes our reality. It's not an external adversary, but our own mind that may lead us astray. Taking an idea from mere conception to active implementation holds greater significance than letting it exist solely as a concept. Passion can ignite like no other flame. Hatred can be as destructive as a shark, folly can ensnare, and greed can rush like a torrent. Our thoughts mold our existence. What we continually think becomes our reality. Through our thoughts, we contribute to shaping the world. If aspiring to soar, one must shed the burdens weighing them down. To enact change globally, initiate it within yourself first. True happiness is not a pre-existing state, but evolves from your own intentional actions. The challenge lies in the assumption that you have an abundance of time. The mind can be likened to water. In turmoil, clarity is elusive, but in serenity, everything becomes transparent. The spoken words, akin to a sharp knife, have the power to harm without physical injury.